Hey guys, it's Mr. Schwartz here. Just wanted to try to go through what we mentioned in the last class. We were talking about factoring. So far we've covered how to find the greatest common factor, whether it be a monomial or binomial. We would identify it, we would factor it out of the given polynomial and try to figure out what's left, and then that would create factors of our given polynomial. So this is another technique we talked about last time we met. This is says simple factoring, but these are for type 1 trinomials. We could see in here a trinomial in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c when a is 1. This technique would work where we're looking for factors of c that add to b. Okay, we worked through some examples last time. We said it might be useful to make a list of the factors of c. In this case, c is 14. So we listed our factors. We're looking for the ones that add to 9. So 2 and 7 would be the factors that we use here. Okay, it gets a little bit more difficult as c becomes bigger. You have more possibilities. And keep in mind, if our b value is negative, a -2 and a -10 would give us a product of 20. They would multiply to 20, but they would add now to -12. So sometimes you have to adjust the signs of the numbers in order to make it work. Okay, this is what we did last time. We went down to 5 and 6 and saw that this could become a little bit more complicated by adding a second variable in, but it's pretty easily dealt with by adding y to the binomials, and you always want to check using FOIL just to make sure that you got the correct combination here. Okay, this would be day 2, folks. I'm going to move on to number 7 and number 8. We'll take a look at number 7. Okay, and we notice here we always want to check, okay, do we have a trinomial? And if we take a look at this, this is certainly a trinomial. It has 3 terms, so we would check that. Is it a type 1 trinomial? Type 1. And we could see here the number in front of the highest degree is a 3. This is not a type 1. So we can't use factors of 18 that add up to be -15. But if you look a little bit closer, there is something that we do have in all 3 terms, right? We have a GCF. Okay, and keep in mind, we said this before, this is the first thing we always want to check for is our GCF. So our GCF is going to be 3, because 3 is the largest number that goes into all of these numbers, x squared, which is present in all the terms. So I'm going to first factor out 3x squared, and we'll see here we have x squared minus 5x plus 6 is what's left in the house. We refer to the parentheses as the house. And we could take this a little bit further, because if you look at what's in the house, this is a type 1 trinomial. So I'm going to bring down my first factor, which is 3x squared. And now I'm going to look for factors of 6 that add to -5. So we can make our list if we want to, like we did up above. 1 and 6, 2 and 3, to help us. And we want to create a -5, so a -2 and a -3 would be the combination that we're looking for. And we would have successfully factored number 7. Keep in mind here there are 3 factors. 1, 2, 3. There are 3 factors. A monomial times a binomial times a binomial. And we could always check that to see, would we get this given polynomial? And you would see that we do. All right, let's try one more together. Move on to number 8 here. Again, this is a trinomial. It has 3 terms. It's not a type 1. The first thing we always want to get into the habit of anyway is we want to look for our GCF. Okay, and you would see here that there is a GCF, 2p. And I'm going to factor that out, and we get p squared plus 3p minus 4. All right, so these are factors, but this can be factored further, because if I look inside the house again, I see this is a type 1 trinomial. So I'm going to try to factor it further. Okay, looking for factors of -4 that add up to be 3. And that would be a +4 and a -1. Okay. So that wraps up our day 2 of factoring type 1 trinomials. Okay. We always want to look for a GCF first, get into that habit. We're actually creating something that we're going to call the master factor plan, and we're going to put that into use whenever we're looking to factor any type of given polynomial. I hope you guys found this helpful. This will be the first video that we'll start using to continue to work through the 4th marking period of Algebra 1 Honors. All right, guys, I'm signing off. Have a great day. Hopefully this works and gets through. I'll be posting the homework on our Google Classroom, and please make sure you take a look and see what it is that you have to do. All right, have a super day, a super weekend, and I'll catch up with you guys on Monday.